Welcome one, welcome all, as fans starting to come in to see RGV Football Club facing OKC Energy as round 6 of the USL Championship is underway here. I'm Juan Arango alongside Chris Nurse. Chris, this match has a little bit of spice as far as this local side is concerned. Lots of promise, lots of potential, but again, you see a team that's still looking for their first win of the season.
Yeah, both teams will be looking to get off to a good start. You know, Rio Grande Valley struggling to score goals right now, and obviously OKC coming off the back of having a 2-0 lead, and now going into this game, having given up that game last week, will be looking to set the record straight in this game. So it's going to be a very interesting game from both sides.
Yeah, it's a very interesting potential as far as the starting lineup. And of course, as we mentioned before coming on, 5 changes as far as the lineup that's being put out as far as this squad for Rio Grande Valley is concerned. Corti returning, Donovan Adams Copete, as well as Wilmer Andres Cabrera also returning to the starting 11 for RGV. So a team that'll be very interesting as far as the potential that they've shown on the road. A quick start, but they've lost their or have gone winless in their last 3 in OKC Energy. As you see the team right there, what do you see as far as OKC and you're having to bounce back after the loss that they had to the Portland Timbers too?
Yeah, I think the coach will be very disappointed. Anytime your team has a 2-0 lead and you give away that lead and end up losing the game 3-2, you know, it's a big test of character now in this game to see if this team can bounce back. They need to make sure they stop conceding goals, and when they score, they need to make sure they seal things off in a more professional manner.
Well, one player that will look to seal off, at least from a defensive standpoint, the lineup, as the newly acquired Alvin Jones will be making his first start. The only change for the starting lineup as far as this team is concerned. We'll see how the dynamic changes. A lot of pace, a lot of danger, but also the potential for a good bit of creation will be very important as far as this team is concerned. OKC Energy showing a great deal. You see right there, a little bit in the horizon, just not that far away, maybe a little bit further than a stone's throw away. You're seeing here from HEB Park as you start to look at this. Let's look at Steve Cook and his energy side. What do you look at when it comes to energy really being able to bounce back about that? I mean, having a 2-0 lead, being very convincing, and then you start to look at this team and how they tended to self-destruct there towards the end.
I mean, he's looking at how they've managed to start the season. Of course, it's still very early, the first 5 games, but going almost 3 games now without a win, you know, it's a big test of the character of the team. You know, they don't want that run to continue for very much longer before they're able to pick up 3 points. Conceding goals is something that they want to address, and I think, you know, he stated that they've worked on that this week in training, so it'll be interesting to see how they approach the game and if they're able to keep a clean sheet throughout this 90 minutes.
Meanwhile, for Rio Grande Valley and Gerson Echeverri, 6 different lineups. We've seen he's still trying to find his team, but at the same time, you also have to have time with this squad because of the new acquisitions and the time it takes to gel. I mean, pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah, and he's discussed that he's been pretty happy with his team defensively. Just in the final third and putting the ball into the back of the net is where they've struggled. They're winless so far in their first 5 games. So there's a number of changes so far in this game. Obviously, that's going to disrupt the momentum of the team. But obviously, the objective now is to see if they can turn these good defensive performances into wins by scoring some goals in the offensive end of the field.
Now, if you look at it from the perspective of both teams, how do these 2 teams match up? How do you see, as you see right there, the refereeing crew, Arturo Ibarra, local referee, also with Diego Blas, Jacobo Zuniga, the 2 assistant referees, and Julian Trevino, the 4th assistant in this particular encounter. But going back to the question I was asking you, Chris, if you're energy, how do you attack a team like RGV and vice versa? How does RGV attack a team like OKC Energy in the matchups that they have on the pitch?
I think that the first thing they have to realize is that RGV are at home. And in front of their home fans in the home territory, you know, it's a very difficult circumstance for Energy to come in and play. You know, that's the first challenge that they have to overcome. They won't want to concede an early goal away from home, whereas Rio Grande Valley, on the other hand, want to be more aggressive and take the game to them. So it's going to be very interesting first opening minutes to see how each team approaches the game.
You saw right there, Kyle Adams. Chris Adams, the captain today for the men in orange, the Toros. Very young side, a team that's really getting into their own. You see players that are starting to understand what Coach Echeverri is looking to establish. Of course, now you have a little bit more time under your belt if you're Gerson Echeverri and his coaching staff. So it's part of the process. First time that you have a coach coming in for this club in a second season. So that'll be interesting to see how it evolves. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about week 5, week 6, when week 30, 31, 32 are coming through and maybe things are changing around. That's something that is also to be said.
Of course, and you look at the composition of both rosters. OKC have a very eclectic build of their squad. A lot of national team players, a lot of experienced players in their team. Whereas Rio Grande Valley, on the other hand, they have a younger squad. So the expectancies for energy in this game are much higher in terms of Rio Grande Valley, and the coach is putting his faith in his experienced players to go out there and get the job done. Whereas you can be a little bit more patient with a younger squad. He's expecting this energy team to get a win this evening.
Of course, as you mentioned, Steve Cook putting his faith in his troops, his second season with his club as well. And we're underway here in Edinburgh. Of course, as you see this RGV side dressed as RGV in their traditional orange and white. OKC Energy dressed in their their second kit, going from left to right. So, and we'll start to see some very interesting matchups, especially down the wing. Something to really start focusing on if you're watching this match is how OKC Energy play out of the back. And as soon as I say that, they try and play out of the back and try and play out wide, and the ball sails out of bounds as it'll go out to touch quickly for Rio Grande Valley. And that's been one of the fortes of Energy and how they've been able to play a lot of pace down the wings.
Yeah, and of course with Lorendi in goal, he has good distribution with his feet, so they're almost able to use him as a defensive playmaker from the back. He's able to kickstart the attacks there. You see him trying to hit a diagonal ball 60 yards. Not all goalkeepers are capable of doing that at this level, and he adds that dynamic by being there at the back line.
Deep ball going into space, trying to be able to find that reference point up top in Christian Isey. Of course, Deshaun Brown will be out for an extended period of time due to the injury he suffered a little bit over a week ago prior to the match against Portland Timbers 2. Looking for Cabrera inside the middle. Wilmer Andres Cabrera is Lorendi getting there just in the nick of time. Again, a good run from out wide by Malik Foster. Jamaican currently on loan from Liga Deportiva Alajuelense over in Costa Rica.
And this Energy FC team, has a lot of Caribbean flavor to it. From giving up 3 goals in the last game, the only change along the back line has been Jones coming in for Ibiga. It's going to be interesting to see if that has an impact on the back four.
You were talking about the qualities of an Alvin Jones. Player that's had some experience at the national team level is Garcia drops all the way back, gives it over to Atiba Harris. Jones, who's been pretty active in the early stages of this match. Da Fonte. Again, looking for Isley, but not being able to connect in the early stages of this match. Just trying to find some of the weak spots in that back line for RGV.
Yeah, just forcing that pass there, the simple passes on, keep possession of the ball, build your confidence into the early stage of the game. That's the first 2 or 3 minutes. You want everybody to get touches on the ball, build your confidence, and gradually the spaces will open up. There's no need to, go forcing passes that aren't necessarily on so early in the game. Gradually find yourselves into it as the game progresses.
Nico Corti. Ball won again there by Owain Gordon. Tends to move a lot down the right, can also move down the left as well. Very potentially dangerous attack. Gordon alongside Cordell Cato on the opposite side, and also Alexis Bossetti, former French youth international. Gordon. Chance from outside, getting deflected, cleared away by the captain today, Kyle Adams.
And there you just seen a glimpse of what Gordon can do. When he picks up the ball and starts dribbling at defenders at speed, it makes them immediately start to back off and create space and angles for his forwards to receive the ball. Unfortunately, they weren't able to be so productive in that situation, but you see that attacking threat that he possesses.
Garcia. Alvin Jones again to Bozetti. A little bit too far for Garcia to be able to connect, and Adams cleans up that mess, playing it out wide, a little bit too wide and a little bit too far out. Not much that Samuel Junko could do on that particular play. And calm down, let's slow down.
Energy are doing a good job in possession right now of making the field big. You can see they're able to stretch Rio Grande Valley now when they're in possession by their defenders getting on the flanks, getting nice and high and wide. The midfielders spreading the centre of the park. You know, they're making the game very expansive when they're in possession of the ball, which is creating a lot of spaces for people to move into and receive it.
Garcia, Gordon, Bozetti. Cato. Mikel Williams joining the attack. It goes right back to Cato. Garcia trying to one-touch it inside the area. Good effort there by Cato to try and win it, but not much going on there. Looking to counter, transition a little bit quicker. But again, controlled by OKC Energy, as now you start to see the pitch getting tilted in favor of Energy, but not much going on as a wasted pass there really. And you see right there the coaching staff, the brain trust already moving around.
Yeah, you're seeing Rio Grande Valley adopting a very defensive standpoint to the game, you know, dropping their line very deep to the edge of their 18-yard box and allowing OKC Energy to possess the ball. Energy FC so far in the first 1 minute have had the better of play, had the better possession, not quite tested the goalkeepers yet, but for the away team, they're very much in control of the game right now.
And I'm not sure, Chris, if the whole issue there is that we've seen RGV throughout the season, and you look at it based on statistics, but also in how the opposition possesses the ball, maybe except the match against New Mexico, is that you see a team that really can drop back, doesn't always boss as far as possession is concerned.
Yeah.
Do you see them really looking for the transition as far as their attack?
The coach spoke this week about how he's been happy with how they've been defensively, and if they drop the line so deep to the edge of their 18-yard box, they're going to be fairly defensively solid, but now they're relying on having fast attacking players to be able to counter-attack and take advantage of the other team's height when they're attacking. But it's going to be difficult for them to address the issue that they've highlighted of not scoring goals if they defend so deeply all the time.
That does tend to be an issue. If you're not close to the opposing goal, it becomes awfully difficult.
Yeah. And of course, if you don't have possession of the ball, it's very difficult to build goal-scoring opportunities. And more so, if you're not in possession of the ball, you're using a lot of energy running and chasing and shifting. And, you know, while you might not be conceding, your players lose energy. So even when they get the ball back, they've done so much hard work in terms of chasing it with not having possession. They're very tired when they get it back. You know, the key is to keep possession and make it work for yourself when you're transitioning.
Ball intended for Malik Foster as we reach the 8th minute of play here in Edinburgh. Enriquez. Adams. As Enriquez has to drop all the way back to be able to continue moving the ball around. Enriquez trying to weave his way back into a position that's favorable for him. He does have some room. Has Garcia on him. Over to Junqua. Salazar. The Belize international. Again, Cody Lorendi coming off his line, and
fairly easy for Lorendi to do with that, but that's the first time we've seen Rio Grande Valley connect a few passes and get into the final third. But again, you know, we're seeing the same struggles of being able to test the keeper and really create a good goal-scoring opportunity there.
Atiba Harris. As the central defenders knock the ball to and fro. The run being made into space there by Cordell Cato. Used a good reference there to be able to send that ball deep, but...
Yeah, and that's almost the counter-attacking threat that Rio Grande Valley want to possess themselves, you know. Being able to press the ball and then hit long diagonal balls where they're able to exploit the defense with speed and pace. And, you know, if they're going to sit deep, that's exactly what they need going forward.
And that's what you want to see from the opposition. Yeah, send it deep all you want. We're here. We don't have to make that much of an expenditure of energy. Adams sweeps it aside. As there was Owen Gordon making a chase. Enriquez. No one in orange remotely close. That goes to Rafa Garcia. Ross. As the ball begins to circumnavigate across the back line. Already the 9th, 10th minute of play as we begin seeing how both teams want to open themselves up a little bit when they have possession, how each side intends to attack the other. It really hasn't come out and produced a great deal of damage on the other end. This one could be promising, but a little bit too far for Owain Gordon. Junkwa clearing it aside, steering it out wide. Again, Enriquez. There's a good counterattack opportunity. Salazar. Good job there by Mike Defont.
Good play there from Enriquez. Very crafty on the ball. A good forward pass. A good run there from Salazar. Just again, unable to turn it into anything threatening.
Just you see Enriquez again attacking. 1v1 and good defensive stand here. Some good work here by Energy.
Yeah, that was a good defended tackle there. If he times that one late, for sure it's going to be a penalty. But here you see Gordon on the run here.
Gordon waiting, see what kind of work he's going to get from a teammate to be able to partner up. Looking to cross it back. No one really there, dressed in white.
Not sure what the attacker really saw there trying to cut that ball there, but there wasn't really anyone in that area. He would have been better off to find Gordon again and rebuild the attack. He's ended up forcing and giving the ball away there from a very good attacking position.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to see. He just dropped it back. All you saw was orange. As you see right here, how the foul was committed is Cabrera bringing Rafa Garcia back down. You see how that ball rolling around. The chance, the shot, and getting just a piece of it, enough to be able to parry it away, is Nico Corti, first corner kick of the match.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Corti would be too happy with how he dealt with that one. Although he got it and turned it around the goal, had that been on target, I feel like it may have gone under him and into the back of the net. So I think he's got away a little bit with how he's dealt with that one.
Did it get deflected? No. It seemed like it did because of the way he... Maybe we'll get a better angle here. No.
That's a good save in the end.
Hey, it went wide, so that's the most important thing. First corner kick of the match, in-swinger, looking to go first post, into the area, and right there, Christian Isley got under it just a skosh to almost, but not enough to be able to give a scare to the home side already in the 12th minute of play.
Yeah, for sure, Isley wants that back timed perfectly. That's a perfect delivery into the box. It's right in the right area. He just has to direct it on target, and that's a goal. He's just got too much on it over the crossbar. But that's a threat there. That's a wake-up call for Rio Grande Valley. Energy FC showing they're very dangerous from set pieces.
Just like the way that ball just traveled through. Of course, Select is the official ball. And Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. 13 minutes of play here in Edinburgh, and Energy have come out with a little bit more purpose offensively. Rio Grande Valley with a bit more intent on defending and looking to play out of the back. Cabrera, deep ball for Enriquez. He gives chase. No, he's not going to get to that one.
Yeah, and we've spoken about the construction of this Energy FC squad with players like Garcia in the middle, you know, that level of experience, players who have played at international level, players who have played in the MLS, players who have played for a number of years in the USL. To go 3 games now without a win, that will start to creep into their psychology, because being a good team is all about developing good habits, and winning games is also a habit. So 3-4 games now, if you start to go without a win, you know, you start to feel that amongst your dressing room, the fans, the organisation as a whole. So they're definitely going to go after a win in this game today, despite being away from home. I think it's something that the players need for their own confidence.
Is it a case of the what or a case of the how? Meaning, obviously the what is winning games, but also during these types of stretches, learning how to do it, or relearning how to be able to win these more difficult types of matches.
Yeah, and of course it's still early in the season, so the coach is still putting his identity on the team. The players are still getting comfortable with each other, but you know, you still need to win games while that's happening. You know, you can be a little bit patient with the results while you're building your philosophy and your style of play, but inevitably it's about winning games.
Enriquez with the shot. Cody Lorendi. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, Enrique, fantastic dribble. He's been probably the biggest threat so far for Rio Grande Valley, but that shot was straight down the throat of big Cody Lorendi, and he was able to deal with that fairly easily.
glad you mentioned that about Lorendi, as you see the replay right there. You won't see Lorendi making the spectacular saves or the tremendous acrobatic dives, but his positioning as a goalkeeper throughout his career has been one of his fortes, has been one of his strong suits.
Yeah, and again, if you follow Cody Lorendi's journey, he was actually my roommate when he made his first professional contract with Puerto Rico Islanders way back in maybe 2010 or 2012. You know, fantastic journey he's come along to now become one of the top.
Back when the ball was made out of leather, right?
He's now probably one of the top goalkeepers at the level that he's playing, and he's not just a good goalkeeper, he's actually one of the good people in the league. You know, he does a lot for the community and his organization, and you know, it's fantastic to see players like that develop and be successful as a result of that.
Ball lost there by Isidro Martinez. I hope you weren't making fun of him the other day.
I mean, he's definitely going to be on a blooper tape somewhere for that goal that he conceded for Puerto Rico against Grenada.
Get energy on the counter-attack. Here's Isley from outside, just trying to keep the ball as open as possible, trying to find the open man. Ross joining the attack a little bit too far for Gordon. He's able to get to it, looking for a target, but deflected. It'll be a goal. It should be a corner kick. The ball being rolled out. I'm like, wait, no. It'll be a corner kick coming up. Second of the match for OKC Energy. Will they do it again going first post? That's the big question. Isley was successful. Why not try it again from a different angle?
Yeah, and I think this is where Rio Grande Valley need to be careful in this situation. They've already seen the first corner that came in, possessed a very dangerous threat, whipped in over the top of the first man for Isley making that run at the near post. So they need to make sure they do a better job marking and attacking the ball as it comes into the box. Alexis
Bozetti. Again coming through and again winning the header and again missing just wide. Of course, there's some politicking there by Mike Dafont to be able to get that ball and get another corner kick. Not going to be. And Bozetti again connecting very well.
It's a great delivery into the box. It just needs to be guided on target, and you have a chance of scoring that. I think Dafont just that time guiding that one wide. There's two dangerous set pieces there that Energy FC potentially could have had goals from.
17 minutes in, no score. And of course, for all of those fans that always want to be up to date, well, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Rio Grande Valley and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Rio Grande Valley's next match. You can also be able to do that by going to ESPN.com right now and clicking follow to Rio Grande Valley or whatever your favorite club may be.
Yeah, and you know, we discussed already that it's just early, it's 5 games into the season, but if you go another 5 games now without picking up wins, you know, now you start to look at the longer picture and see, are you going to be able to make the playoffs? You know, where are you going to be finishing up the season? You know, 5 games is more than enough now to start finding your identity and start picking up points. And as much as we spoke about Energy not winning in 3, this Rio Grande Valley team is also a team that needs to start picking up points if they're going to do something come the postseason.
It's a team that had a lot of fans really high on them because of the young players coming in, because of the new signings. There was a lot of positivity as far as RGV is concerned. There's a lot of positivity on Energy's camp as well, as far as what they were looking to do. So these two teams really wanting to not just be effective, but also really looking to fulfill expectations in this 2019 campaign.
Yeah, and the USL Championship is a very competitive league.
Yeah.
So while you're giving young players an opportunity, the objective is still to win games. You know, you're not just giving those players the opportunity because they're young. You're giving them the opportunity because you think that they're young and ready and they can have an impact. So, you know, as much as we look at the composition of the squad being young, the objective for the organisation and the club is still to win games and to be competitive. And, you know, they need to start picking up points in the same way as Energy FC with an experienced squad in order to achieve their objectives.
It's been interesting. One point that you made, Chris, that made a lot of sense is that throughout the history of a team like OKC Energy, the season where they've had the greatest deal of success is because of the great start they had, which was in 2015. Yeah. After that, you've seen them, or excuse me, 2016. You saw them really have success throughout the year and get deep into the playoffs. But the years that they struggled out of the gate, and being able to play catch up so much, that really puts you in a very negative situation. You see right there, Coach Booth.
Yeah, and remember, these teams would have prepared for 2 months over pre-season, so it's not like the season begins and then its pressure's on. As a player, as a team, as a player and as a team, you know, being successful is all about developing good habits and being consistent. And that's no different when it comes to results in games. You know, winning is a habit, and even if you don't play the best that you can, being able to pick up a point or still leave the game with something is very important for teams that are going to go on to win championships. You know, they still need to be able to know how to get points, even when they perform badly in it. You know, that's what you're going to see from some of the top teams over the course of the year.
Yeah, it's those points you don't get now that when September and October, oh man, if we would have gotten this or we gotten that, those are the points that hurt the most. Maybe not right then and there, but.
And that's why it's important that players play with that pressure of competition and play for places, and that every game matters. You know, even though the postseason is the most important in the playoffs, you know, they need to play with that intensity and passion that every game matters, in order to make sure they reach there come the end of the season, because it's a very competitive and tight league, and it's going to be interesting to see which teams do actually make the playoffs this year.
Harris to Jones. Jones just signed a couple of days ago by OKC Energy. 16 caps for Trinidad and Tobago, only 1 goal. For that 1 goal, very important as far as the recent history of Trinidad and Tobago. Happened to be against the U.S. in that fateful night in Cuba.
Of course, and those players now will have their eye on June. You know, they just had the draw for the Gold Cup this week, and Trinidad again find themselves in the group with the U.S. So they'll want to be competing and performing well so that they can catch the attention of their national team coach and potentially be competing for a place in that roster, because there's no bigger stage than playing in the Gold Cup and playing against the USA here in the US. Even though some of the games will be played, I believe, in Jamaica and 1 game in Costa Rica, you know, that's in the back of their minds.
It's been a very interesting generation that's emerging under the wing of Dennis Lawrence. See what he's able to do. And of course, many of those from the 2006 generation kind of in the wings, looking and giving their support whenever they can. Jones, of course, one of those trying to bring in a new generation to maybe see what they can do if they can repeat that feat. Nico Corti, Belgian goalkeeper, applied his craft over at Stanford alongside Jordan Morris. The fans getting into it slowly but surely, 22nd minute in.
Yeah, both teams have kind of just settled down now. The game was a little bit erratic in the first 10, 15 minutes. Both teams now kind of filled themselves into the game, possessing the ball a little more from both teams, and really trying to find openings in the opposing team's defense.
Key here was to win that second ball. That's exactly what RGV are able to do. Still pushing forward, still looking to see what they can do. The opportunity here for Enriquez. It gets past everyone. Salazar and Garcia able to block that ball. Copete just wide.
Yeah,
another big opportunity.
That shot had Lorendi scrambling, but you're looking at the number advantage here. There's 6 Energy FC players back in defense and only 4 Rio Grande Valley attackers. You know, it's going to be very difficult when they're such a disadvantage numerically in the attack. They probably have to find a way to get some more bodies forward, or either attack quicker where they can get a 5v4 or 4v3 advantage when they're attacking. But at the moment, Energy FC doing a good job to get bodies behind the ball very quickly and snuff out the Rio Grande Valley attacks.
Gerson Echeverri. Born up in the East Coast, up in New York. Was the coach of Seton Hall University until 2 years ago when RGV came calling. Has had experience, also played alongside Wilmer Andres Cabrera. I should try and distinguish which one. Of course, played with his father at one point over in Colombia, briefly, albeit, but still played internationally. Adams.
You can see how important a player Garcia is in the middle of the park for EGNFC. Very responsible, keeps possession, very rarely gives it away. You can see he literally commands everything in there, just keeps things ticking over.
Jones. Ross. Still a gear too slow there to start the counterattack. And again, Junqua battling. Gordon. Jones. Now back to Gordon. The Jamaican looking to make something happen down the wing. But the grass giving out on his right under his feet. He couldn't keep his footing. Starting in the other direction. Salazar. Right there, the Belize International having his face hit. Yeah, you see right there. Boop.
Garcia just gesturing to Salazar to get up there.
Get up!
He's even going to help pick him up.
Well, if you don't get up, I'll get you up. But you saw a lot of arms flailing around. You can see right here in the replay. Arms, people just pushing each other off.
He does get a little bit of elbow into his chest there.
Yeah, a little bit right. Yeah, just got a little bit of.
But not that drastic. I don't think it's a.
Got a little forearm rub. Nothing, nothing much. Fans follow RGV and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, and the UFC, and much more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Salazar still down in the middle of the pitch. Or is play going to stop? Yes, it will, as Isidro Martinez decides to just knock that ball out to touch.
Salazar having a rough time. That's the second time he's been down in as many minutes.
He got the worst of it as he got stepped on, obviously not on purpose by Wayne Gordon, but
again, I didn't really see anything too drastic. He's obviously caught him a little bit because he seems to be in quite some discomfort here.
Yeah, I'd like to see you get stepped by Wayne Gordon too. I mean, that guy's a load. He doesn't need much to hurt you.
Yeah, they're being very rough with Salazar right now.
That's absolutely Gerson Echeverri, again, getting off his bench. He's a little bit in pain there. But it's also, see right there again, looks like he's okay as Randy Linenger, the trainer for RGV. Right there, just got stepped on.
Yeah, nothing intentional there.
No.
I think Gordon just steps on his foot.
That's always a good discussion because of how the boots are made nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
you feel everything.
And players don't really wear metal studs anymore like they used to. Had they been metal studs, I think you may see a stretcher taking him off instead of him walking himself off. But the rubber studs aren't as aggressive as the metal studs that they wear.
And Echeverri there giving instructions quite emphatically. So we'll see how RGV will readjust here. But overall, we're 27, 28 minutes in. What have you seen so far? Two teams that began, one maybe a little bit apprehensive, the other one a little bit more aggressive, but things have leveled off in the middle of the pitch, and it's become that type of encounter in the middle. Really not much going on elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that experience does show a little bit with Energy FC and how they're playing. They're able to possess the ball. Their plan of attack, either get Cato on one side isolating in 1v1 situations, or Gordon on the other side isolating 1v1 situations where they can use their speed and their dribbling skills to attack the fullbacks and whip deliveries into the box. We've not really seen either of them put any dangerous deliveries in the box, but we have seen them be very dangerous from set pieces. I think on the case of Rio Grande Valley, we've seen Enriquez. He's been a very lively attacking threat for them. It's a case of being able to convert one of these attacking chances into a goal. And maybe that gives the players confidence to score more, because that's where they've lacked so far this season is goal scoring.
Here's Enriquez to Cabrera, spinning around inside the area. Has some room, has some space, but right there was Defont asking for a handball, not going to get it. Another cross, another effort, another clearance by OKC Energy. A little bit of discomfort there felt by the visitors.
Yeah, and again, a very good opportunity, a block. Rio Grande Valley actually calling for a penalty, but that's the advantage that Energy FC have right now when they're putting bodies into the box. At the moment, more often than not, it's 6 against 3 in favour of Energy FC, and that's why they're really not able to test Lorendi that much, despite putting them under some pressure there. Cody's not really had to make a save.
Connor Donovan taking the ball out wide over to Andrew Samuels. And Malik Foster unable to stay on his feet. Here, of course, this is the opportunity from Cabrera. Now that you see that, well, the hands, look at where the hand is. The body I'm looking at you. You're like,
It's close, but I think he's trying to get himself out of the way there. I don't think he's extended his hand, or it's in that unnatural position for the referee to potentially give that. But he could have. We've seen them given, so.
We've seen them given. That's the point. Header over the intended target right there. Of course, it was Hector Copete in the area. Donovan giving chase back to set himself up. Here's Bozetti giving a little bit of pause in the middle of the pitch, dumping it into space, but to no avail, as that ball is just going to roll out of bounds to give the ball right back to the home team as 30 minutes in. Still no score here in Edinburgh.
Yeah, and you can see Cato's frustration there. He's making the run. All he's asking for is a little bit more quality and timing on the passing. You know, it's a wasted opportunity, kicked out of play for a goal kick when Energy FC had good possession of the ball there to build the attack.
I hope you set your calendar aside for Wednesday, okay? It's going to be a great match because, Chris, you and, of course, all the other fans need to tune in. April 17th for the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week on ESPN3, featuring the new expansion side Austin Bold hosting last year's Cup runner-up Phoenix Rising. It's the week's best match on the Game of the Week next Wednesday on ESPN3. Check your local listings. Enriquez, as Energy's really used that left side of the pitch to be able to penetrate that defense. Cabrera. Foster making a run and having to go out wide to keep that width more available. Junqua trying to force it into space, and great anticipation there by Rafa Garcia. Bozetti opening it out wide. Continue to play here. Our Energy FC, but that first touch, that first ball got away.
Yeah, Gordon just overrunning the ball there, but you see the flexibility in Energy FC. Gordon and Cato being able to randomly switch sides of the field when they feel freely to do it. But Rio Grande Valley on the attack here.
Here's Malik Foster. Overlap coming down the right side to Samuels. Foster going inside the area. Here's Cabrera, who's been patrolling around that perimeter. Again, looking to go through the header. Not the best there by Salazar, but still remains in play. Trying again here, Energy FC as Salazar, top of the box. Taking way too long, Enriquez, as two men already getting in front of Salazar. Samuels. Copete making himself available. The run being made by Salazar, brought by Enriquez. Brought it down, but couldn't get his foot on it. Was ready to lock and load, but couldn't release. Ooh. Adams, big mistake here. Bozetti continues to pressure. All the way back to Nico Corti, who's playing for the third time this season.
And there you see Rio Grande Valley just done fantastic there in the final third. They've gone through maybe 10, 12 passes of keeping possession, but they've not made Lorendi work. Then they've been forced to defend, and they've almost conceded the ball to Energy FC in the defensive third. You know, I felt there was one opportunity there when they were keeping possession where Cabrera could have had a first-time shot, and he turned down the shot, and they ended up having no attempt on target out of a spell of 12 and 13 passes in the final third. This is where I think the coach addressed during the week. You know, they need to score goals. In order to score goals, they've got to take shots. You know, there's no point getting to the final third and just possessing the ball and not testing the goalkeeper. They've got to make Lorendi work.
Yeah, you don't get points for knocking the ball around top of the 18. Is the ball corralled there by Nico Corti.
But we've seen, you know, signs that they have something. They're capable in the final third, but I feel like they need to pull the trigger more often. By pull the trigger, I mean shoot.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up. I wasn't sure. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings. That's the offside being called. Of course, that power ranking, you will find it only on USLChampionship.com. Cabrera as the ball sails. And RGV, two completely different teams. And they're able to move around, especially down the left, and really go through their phases, find the associations. And another team that completely just loses possession when they try and just rush the ball up the pitch.
I think they've got to continue to do what's been working well for them, man. I think they need to find the feet of Enriquez with the ball. You You know, he's been their most lively attacking player. You know, when he picks up the ball and starts dribbling, he has the energy defenders backing off, and you know, he's very tricky. If he can get inside the 18-yard box with his skills, he's very easily capable of drawing a penalty with a badly timed tackle. So I think that should be their game plan right now. Stick to what's working for them. Get the ball to Enriquez's feet and let him make things happen, because he seems to be the player on the pitch right now that has that capability.
Cabrera. The ball won again by Enriquez. Salazar. Switching it all the way across for Malik Foster. Foster looking to take it down the line. Crossing in. Bit complicated there for Cody Lorendi, but he's able to steer that aside. It'll be the first corner kick of the match for RGV Toros.
Yeah, we see it. See a danger there, 1v1 situation. Does well to beat his man. Drives the ball low across the box. Lorendi does well there to get his foot on, just direct it away from goal.
Remember at the beginning of the half where we saw, I think it was one of the players for Energy, cross that ball into just a back pass,
yep,
and it was straight into the opposition.
Yep.
This one, that's exactly what you're supposed to do with Foster. Okay, there's nobody around. Let me just put it on target, see what happens.
Yeah.
Lorendi there getting...
Once it goes into a dangerous area, even for the goalkeeper there, if he doesn't time that clearance right, it comes off his leg and goes into the back of his own net. So that's the threat when you drive the ball hard and low from the byline back across the goal. You know, it can come off anybody and go in the back of the net. Foster
gets that ball knocked away by Garcia. Another chance, and it'll end up right there in the VIP area. All the fans just enjoying their beverages and the like.
Energy FC just having to absorb, you know, a fair amount of pressure in the last 5 minutes, and that's how the game goes sometimes. You know, sometimes you're going to possess the ball and be the aggressive team. Sometimes you're going to have to defend well when the other team is having their spell in the game. I think right now Rio Grande Valley are having their spell in the game, but they need to make it count. They need to make this spell of possession and opportunities count with a goal. And part of that, if I was them, I would keep the intensity high. I would keep the tempo of the game high, because, you know, as they drop it down, it favours Energy FC when they're under cosh, when they're under the cosh. If they can keep the intensity high, the tempo of the game high, right now they've got the better of Energy FC, so they need to keep attacking them.
Do you see anyone in particular that needs to do more on both teams? You know, if there's one player that you really need to get more involved, I've seen more of Malik Foster. I've seen less of Bossetti. Those types of players, the ones that really are able to set the tone.
Yeah, I think Bossetti is obviously playing in that number 10 position, and I think, you know, in number 10 position, that's who you rely on as your playmaker. And I think they need to do a better job of finding him with the ball, finding him in dangerous positions. You know, they haven't switched play quick enough to make Gordon or Cato very threatening so far in this game. So maybe they need to try and play through the middle and create goal-scoring opportunities that way.
And a little while ago, you talked about set pieces. Well, we'll see if it starts working for RGV here in this particular moment. 38th minute of play, and a foul there on Samuels. Bossetti there stating his case, saying, what about over there? You didn't call it there. Why not? As the former Nice man, came over from Laval in the French 2nd division just last year. Big set piece opportunity. Some of the big boys coming up. Connor Donovan in the area. Also, you start to look at Salazar, also very good in the air. Junqua making his presence felt. Cabrera waiting on the outside of the box for a potential second ball. Sending it near. Here's the opportunity that's bouncing off, just slightly deflected off of Salazar. Lorendi well placed.
I think that's another set piece opportunity that's been dangerous. Both teams now have had dangerous opportunities from set pieces, but I think he wants that one back.
Let's see how much of a deflection it took.
Whipped in with a lot of pace. You see it over the head of Garcia.
Yeah.
Comes off Salazar, but he just guides it into Lorendi's hands. He just needs to find the corners with that.
Wasn't it deflected right there? Somebody headed it a second time and is redeflected.
Yeah, Garcia times his header badly. The ball skims off the top of him. And Salazar just tries to react, but directs it into Lorendi's hands. And if you look at OKC's roster, and the players that they brought in, for me, the players that they've signed, the composition of the team makes a statement in itself. You know, you just mentioned Nice in 2nd division in France. when you bring in that caliber of players from the MLS, national team players, that's a team that's trying to win the championship. So results, when you invest that heavily in your squad and you have that expectancy from your players, results is obviously the most important thing, because you want to win so that you can back those ambitions that you've made in the roster signings that you've had. So this further highlights, you know, OKC need to snap out of this 3-game winless streak, because if they don't get it today, that'll be 4.
Fourth away match for Energy so far this year after 6 rounds. They'll come back and play against Orange County in the next few days when they head back over to Taft Stadium. As we head into the final 5 minutes of this first half, no score here as dusk is settled. The sun has already gone down, and Saturday night's quite all right in Edinburgh as long as you're an RGV fan and you end up going to HEB Stadium, HEB Park, I should say.
And I think Rio Grande Valley will be fairly happy with their first half, and it'd be interesting to see if at halftime they can make any changes that can allow them to unlock that defense and really get that goal scoring opportunity that gives them a chance to win this game, because defensively they've been fairly good defensively apart from set pieces, especially with threats like Gordon and Cato against them. They've not really been able to cause them that many problems. They've had their fair share of position in the final third. They've just not really given Lorendi anything that dangerous. And maybe the coach is able to tinker with something at half-time that really unlocks the defense.
Right there, Cabrera just trying to get something on target. Which leads to our question. What is that? What do they need to unlock?
They need to get the ball on target there for first, but just a little bit more composure in the final third.
Yeah.
You know, get quick shots off when they've got the ball there, because they've had the ball there a number of times. You just need that one player who's got the capability to get the ball at his feet half a yard and hit the target and find the corners. That's what they're missing, that goal scorer who's going to get 15 and 20 goals a season.
Of course, and they have that on the bench in Carlos Small. Let's see if the Panamanian will get a shot. But Salazar in the meantime looking for Cabrera to open up. He still continues to go wide. Salazar with the chance of shot. Not much pace behind it. Easily stopped there by Cody Lorendi. You're going to see in the stats probably at the end of the first half, barring any type of explosion here by Energy, that you've seen RGV have more shots on goal total.
I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity. You see him drive here. You know, he takes him defender one-to-one, but the end shot is pretty tame, to be fair. It doesn't really, you know, it's not really that hard for Lorendi. He just shuffles his feet. It's fairly easy for him to get hold of. You know, you really want to see him really test the goalkeeper in that situation. And that's where they failed so far.
Bozati moving, twirling, juking around, trying to manufacture something in a very reduced amount of space.
Yeah, you just see him try to kick the ball off the defender there to try and get the corner. It's out for a throw-in.
Cabrera. Salazar, I think on that play, he was waiting more to see the run that Cabrera was going to make and send it to him instead of taking the shot. That ended up being like the second or maybe even third thing on his mind.
Yeah, he kind of slowed himself down when he had the defender backing off. Instead of continuing him at pace and really making the defender back off hard, he kind of slowed down, which took away his momentum, and then the ball kind of got stuck under his feet when he took the shot. He wasn't able to generate as much power and accuracy as he would have liked.
Copete for Junqua. Enriquez. Junqua with the overlap. Enriquez again having to drop back. He didn't have much of an option as he had 3 defenders to deal with. Good job by Alvin Jones.
Strong tackle there from Jones.
And strong shoulder check there by, again, Hector Copete, the Colombian from Medellin. Came out of the Itagüí youth system over in Colombia. And here's Owain Gordon trying to put it into 3rd gear and now into 4th. But he's neutralized. Good job there by Connor Donovan to prevent the Jamaican international from really getting into that extra gear and really leaving that defense pretty much flailing in the wind.
Yeah, he did a good job to double up there. You saw Gordon was off dribbling the ball at speed, and that's what they've done fairly well defensively. You know, they've been able to snuff him out just as he reaches the final third to to really stop him from being able to create something. But
get a promising opportunity, but that touch by Isley betraying him. But still, it looks like there was a deflection. There'll be a corner kick coming up. Bozetti will take it from the far side, looking to swing it in. Last time, corner kick from this side of the pitch. It was a header that goes just wide. The previous 2 corner kicks, OKC were very effective, although not hitting the final target. As the ball still bouncing around, still on the top of the line right there. Cleared out at the very last second. Still not out of harm's way as we're in the waning seconds of the first half. Energy now starting to pour it on. The most dangerous opportunity for the visitors so far in this match. Teasing ever so much and almost making it 1-0.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Energy's best opportunities, all 3 of them have probably been from set pieces and from corners. So you can see where they're dangerous and where they're threatening. There you see fantastic delivered ball to the back post there, nodded back across goal, screaming for somebody just to tap it in. Nobody on the end of it.
That ball's still bouncing around so dangerously as we have 60 more seconds. Collected there by Corti. And Energy almost going into the dressing room with a 1-0 advantage. Your thoughts so far the first half?
I think both teams have been probably neutral. You know, it's probably been a 0-0 is probably a fair result going into half-time. I think both coaches will make some adjustments and really go after this in the second half because this could go either way right now. But I think both teams will be going into half-time feeling confident that they can come out of this game with a victory.
Now RGV looking to answer it back before the bell. Looking to do whipping it into the area, and Lorendi just following it through. A little bit too high there by Jesus Enriquez, as it ended up being a very good opportunity for RGV, but again, just kept rising. Ooh, that looked like a corner kick to me.
Yeah, and we've highlighted Enriquez, you know, being a big threat on that left side, being right-footed. He's able to come inside and get shots off on his right foot or slip through balls or create goal-scoring opportunities for other people. He's been a big threat. As we said, if they're going to be successful, their best path is to keep finding him with the ball.
As far as accuracy is concerned for Enriquez, boy, he hit it right there, right on the bullseye, because he ended up hitting one fan's beer. But still, though you don't get points for those. Maybe in the dressing room you do, but still not enough. RGV showing some mettle. OKC being able to answer back in this blow-by-blow, toe-to-toe encounter here at HEB Park. We'll see how things play out in the second half, but in the meantime, it'll be halftime, scoreless. We'll see how both teams end up adjusting. But in the meantime, we'll take a break. We'll come back and dissect this a little bit more. Don't go After 45 minutes, scoreless, not for lack of trying, as it's been the immovable object against the irresistible force, and they've ended up pretty much hitting each other how these guys have been in the middle of the pitch. One resisting, one trying to do their best, but it still hasn't happened so far. Juan Arango and Chris Nurse, as we look back at what happened in the first 45 minutes, Energy FC came out with a little bit more intent, but still couldn't find the target.
Yeah, fantastic delivery into the box there. Izzy just needs to guide that onto target and they would have found themselves one up.
Again, it was the set piece, the best route to goal for Energy FC. We'll see that a little bit later. Again, you're talking a lot about how these teams were attacking one another and how towards the end you saw RGV really becoming a little bit more aggressive, but still lacking in precision.
Yeah, and it's not something that the coach is unaware of. You know, he's highlighted the problem they struggle with is putting the ball into the back of the net, and despite, you know, some of the good opportunities they've had in the final third, they've still failed to put the ball into the back of the net. So, you know, the good thing is that they've had the possession, they're in the right areas. Now is can they convert the chance?
And speaking of converting chances right here, give credit to Energy as they've been able to move around defensively and prevent this one, probably the most dangerous for the Toros, as that ball just wide. And again, they've been able to move around the perimeter quite well, but it's like, no, you shoot it. No, I'll take it. No, maybe you should. Maybe, I don't know. So you have a lot of indecision there as well.
Yeah, and there you see Energy have 7 bodies back, and Rio Grande Valley only have 4 attackers there. So they're always going to be at a numerical disadvantage in that situation.
And you talked about players throughout the first half. Cabrera was one of them, but also the one you really highlighted was Jesus Enriquez, who really made a lot of things happen, especially down that left sector.
Yeah, you can see he's very crafty, and if he can get the ball and be inside the box, Energy's defenders are going to have to be very careful because he commits players, he drives at players, he's very tricky, and he's able to create those goal-scoring opportunities for his teammates also.
Yeah, you were a little bit, I don't know about with that handball, but I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Is again, another player that tried to get involved on the attack was none other than Michael Salazar. But again, right there, you mentioned it during that play. How, okay, fine, you get the space, all right, hit it with authority.
Yeah, he slowed himself down, which, you know, stopped his teammates being able to make runs. It stopped his momentum. It allowed Energy to get bodies back behind the ball and then end up being a fairly tame shot in the end.
As we mentioned, more shots by RGV didn't translate into impending danger, but still a team that wants to create against a team that prevents you from creating, puts you in a bit of a bind.
Yeah, I think the coach will be optimistic. You know, 10 shots in 45 minutes. That's not a bad return, but how many have really tested the Rendy? Maybe 1 or 2. You know, they haven't been able to find the net. It's still an issue. It's still an issue. On the other hand, you know, Energy FC are looking at it. Last week they conceded 3 goals. I think their first and foremost concern in this game is stop the rot, keep a clean sheet. They always have a chance of winning the game. They're away from home. At least if they keep a clean sheet, they leave with 1 point.
So we'll be back scoreless here at HEB Park. We'll be back with more.
And Jameson's going to get to the ball off the giveaway. Bradford Jameson's got the first goal, and San Antonio FC is on the board.
On his way. Here's Ryan Sierakowski in the penalty area. Sierakowski!
Oh! Weaving it forward. Oh, Luke got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos.
Plata. He'll take a shot and a goal! Joao Plata!
Leo's ball. Nice curl. This time headed for the goal!
This afternoon's match, a good ball into Lewis. What a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick, and Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot, curling, and it's in the back of the net.
And it's going to be Lewis. He just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Cole strikes first. Good ball in. John diving header. He's going to give it a track, deflected away by Huntley lets it fly, and Juan punches it away.
And it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ.
Here's Nicoletta.
Sends over, beautiful curler. Marco Micheletto. To the right side of the box. Robinson cuts back, looking for some help. Deflected there, chance in front of goal, stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Perusa trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Zion buries it for the Red Wolves.
Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over it. Second chance, Vega there. Back of the net. Near post, headed on into the back of the net.
Rio Grande Valley, of course, happy as it's their team that won the NBA G League title just last night. Rio Grande Valley Vipers were able to win the NBA G League title. Of course, they're being honored just as the NBA playoffs begin today. Of course, the coach and some of the members of that team being honored here by the fans and, of course, by Mr. Toro. So, congratulations to them. Of course, upcoming matches for RGV. Big one just next week against the Las Vegas Lights and Eric Winalda. Los Dos over in LA, and of course that's part of a 3-match West Coast swing against, as I mentioned, LA Galaxy 2, Portland Timbers 2, and Phoenix Rising. Then they come back and play Los Dos in the month of May. Orange County will be the next victim or opponent, I should say, for OKC Energy. That'll be next week in Oklahoma City. Then Tulsa, of course, that'll be the battle for the wrench. And then Tacoma, Austin, and Real Monarchs during the early part of the month of May for OKC Energy. Of course, points come very, very sparingly. You better take advantage of every single opportunity you have in order to make something happen. We'll see which one of these two teams does, or will they share the points? That'll be the big topic of discussion throughout the second half. And both teams will look to try and settle that argument once and for all. We'll see what happens when we return. Gerson Echeverri getting back to his position. Of course, Ryan Utley as well, as he and his brain trust making sure that every detail was discussed and made sure of. Juan Arango alongside Chris Nurse. Cody Lorendi had a bit of activity throughout the latter stages of the second half. Of course, for Lorendi, this is his 63rd match for OKC Energy. That makes him the all-time leader at goalkeeper in terms of starts and matches played in his 4th season with the club. Of course, all-time as far as players are concerned, that would be one Kyle Highland, as he looks to make it 81 matches that he's participated with Energy FC, if he'll get a chance during this second half. Of course, he's on the bench, one of 5 players on the bench for Coach Booth. And you see the bench, and one of the players that we mentioned in the case of Rio Grande Valley, you were talking about they need a player, I should say, that can be able to make a difference up top, that finisher. And you look at someone like Carlos Small, he could make a difference. Nico Lemoyne, who can also make a difference. We'll see when the changes start occurring and what happens with these two teams when those adjustments really start to come into play. As you see, of course, it rained just a little bit during halftime. So you see the effects of it, as you see right there, Alexi Bozetti.
Yeah, I think, very, very active Salazar was in the first half, but he didn't quite test the keeper as much as I think the coach may have liked. I think Enriquez was definitely a plus. I don't think we saw as much from Foster as we would have liked to. Be interested to see how he starts the second half, but there's definitely opportunity there for the coach to make some attacking changes and potentially, get that first goal.
So Energy starts the second 45 minutes, sending it as deep as possible. It's one really, as of right now, still to be confirmed, but no substitutions look to be made, or have been made, I should say.
And you wonder if that kickoff is Energy FC sending out their signal of an objective to be more direct in the beginning of the second half. Within 30 seconds they played 2 60-yard passes. Is that them saying that their goal in this second half is to try and get Gordon and Cato isolated a little bit earlier by playing a little bit more direct? We'll see as the second half transpires.
And when you have players of with those types of qualities, that's exactly what you look to do. But maybe you get a little bit too obsessed with the verticality of the game.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Rio Grande Valley have defended well. They've defended well. Both teams have defended fairly well. When Rio Grande Valley have attacked, OKC have got a lot of numbers of players behind the ball that's been able to snuff out the attack. And Rio Grande Valley have done well in their 1v1 defending when Cato and Gordon have also got the ball. So both teams have defended well, which is probably why we see the scoreline 0-0 right now.
And defending physically when they need to is Captain Kyle Adams there, bringing down Christian Isley. Just a little pad, of course, always makes you feel better. Right there, just hard collision there for Isley.
See, Adams jogs away unscathed, but I think Isley obviously felt head-to-head there.
Yeah, he got the worst of it.
Yeah.
Cordy Samuels, Donovan Adams, and Junco in the back. Copete Martinez, the 2 holding midfielders. Cabrera in front of them, part of the 4-2, or the fourth. You could say it's a 4-2-3-1 for RGV. Cabrera with Foster and Enriquez out wide. Michael Salazar, the number 9. Meanwhile, for Brian Booth, Lorendi, Jones, Harris, DeFont Williams, Ross Garcia, Cato over on the right, Bozetti in the middle, and Owain Gordon. And then Christian Isley up top for Energy FC, Rafa Garcia.
Yeah, we spoke about how Energy FC are attacking. We spoke about Bozetti. He's just struggled a little bit to get that ball under possession quick enough there in the center of the park. He has had it on a few occasions early in the second half, and he just struggled to settle and get it down quick enough to affect the game.
That's the big thing with a number 10 type of player. You need someone he can play off of, and it doesn't seem like you ever find him being able to find, or you never find him making that connection with anyone, at least in the early stages of this match.
I think we see Salazar down again.
Again, this is what, the third or fourth time? Let's see right there. Well, this is the one where
clash of heads.
Yeah, Adams ends up colliding with Isley. Adams hits him with the hard part of his head. Isley gets hit in the softer part of the head. Of course, that's why he got the worst of it. Yeah. Adams. Playing his fourth match of the year. Trying to run down the left. Here's Cabrera. Garcia. Now Enriquez. Wants to cut back inside, but too many players for energy. Bozetti being able to win it. Now he starts to counter.
And that's exactly the situation I'm talking about having that player who's able to generate half a yard of space and get the shot off on goal. Again, good build-up play from Rio Grande Valley in the final third, but just unable to make Lorendi work.
Enriquez has a man in the middle. Had a man in the middle. Cross into the area as Malik Foster watches that ball sail over his head, but had a man. It was Salazar that he had, at least for a split second, all alone, top of the box. Dummy play, good job here as it goes over to Copetti. Right into the hands of Lorendi.
Clever dummy there from Foster. Straight down the middle of the goal again. Lorendi with a fairly comfortable save. But again, Rio Grande Valley started the game very positive, possessing the ball in the final third. It can only be a matter of time before one of these opportunities really does turn into a goal. I think it's probably the 12th opportunity they've had in this game.
It's interesting. I was talking to the sporting director of Alajuelense just a few days ago, Javier Delgado, and he was talking about how Malik Foster was a player. Of course, he had a very short stint over at Alajuelense before he was moved out, and the reason why he was moved out was because there was an excess of foreign-based players, so it made the decision much easier to bring him over and get a loan deal for him over with Rio Grande Valley. Talked about how quickly he won over the fans at Alajuelense because of his capability of being able to run, of being able to make a difference, and finding he was actually one of the leading assist makers in Costa Rican football during that short stint that he had. He had 4 assists that season, well, actually last year in 2018, when he was still with Alajuelense.
And I think that speaks for the growth of the league. You know, some of the players we're seeing on display in the USL Championship, they've had some fantastic personal achievements in their career, whether it be with the national team, whether it be playing in some of the top European leagues. It speaks about the growth and the direction that the league here is heading into the USL Championship. You know, we're seeing some fantastic attacking flair soccer being played consistently, and you know, it's only going to expand and continue to get better.
We just mentioned Malik Foster, but also great work here on the recovery by Alvin Jones, another player that we mentioned earlier on as far as his work at the international level. Lorendi with Puerto Rico already has earned 6 caps. Maybe not the best campaign under, well, now departed coach Amado Guevara, but he's become one of those players that you can pretty much put in permanent marker. As far as the Puerto Rico starting 11, you know Lorendi will be a fixture there.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you look at the makeup of Caribbean teams, goalkeeper tends to be a position that they struggle, and being able to have a goalkeeper who's playing consistently at professional level, performing well, you know, is one of the leaders in his team. It gives defenses confidence. So, you know, he's a big part. He plays a big part for the defense in Puerto Rico's national team.
As well as Energy FC he's shown throughout the seasons, and you see right there, Malik Foster. We got a big ovation. Of course, Costa Rica played Jamaica in the last FIFA International date, and many Costa Rican fans, because that match was played over at the National Stadium in San Jose, started giving him an ovation when he came onto the pitch. So he started talking to the media there and said, man, I'd love to be back someday, but I'm enjoying my stay right now with Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, I'm sure Rio Grande Valley hope that day doesn't come anytime soon, because they'll be relying on him to be a big part of this campaign for them.
Cato spent some time over with San Jose Earthquakes. Mikel Williams to Cato. Has some room to roam, but nobody to really work with, but it was offside. Was waiting for that whistle to blow eventually.
Yeah, I think Energy FC have been fairly ineffective in the wide area so far in this game. You know, I think they may look to change their game plan, maybe to, as we spoke about, see if they can get Bassetti on the ball through the middle of the park and see if they can create goal scoring opportunities that way, because they haven't really had a lot of success with Gordon and Cato in the wide area so far in this game.
Lorendi.
Fantastic distribution there from Lorendi.
Poor opportunity, the chance, a shot that goes into the back of the net. A great bit of work and a big mistake defensively. And Michael Salazar makes it 1-0 for Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, Cody Lorendi will be devastated with that, but that's a fantastic finish from Salazar there. The ball's come back to him after Lorendi's hit a beautiful 60-yard pass, and he's just got it out his feet and picked his corner with perfection in this instance. And
it was a 40-yard pass back, and it was a big mistake here. See right there.
Yeah, Jones almost plays a through ball to Salazar. Good first touch, gets out his free, and he just picks his spot beautifully past Lorendi's outstretched hands, and he's given his team the big lead that they've been looking for.
Second goal of the season for Salazar, and it takes a huge weight off, not just his shoulders, but off of the shoulders of his team collectively after the struggles they've had in front of goal.
Yeah, and we're looking at a team who's defended well, they played well, you know, and now maybe that one goal is all they needed to kickstart and be able to for the floodgates to open now and to be able to score more. They just needed that confidence to know that they can do it, and I think they've done that now. And it's be interesting to see now if they can kick on, whether they manage to keep that clean sheet and get more goals, or if they're able to leave with a win tonight. I think it'll do wonders for their confidence, and possibly deserved on how they played so far in the first 55 minutes of this game.
And here's a break coming into the middle of the pitch. See what occurs, but again, the ball just knocked away. Scopete was looking to make something happen. Isidro Martinez started that break, but ends up really not making anyone uncomfortable. Last win for RGV, October 6th of last year, was a 2-1 victory against Tulsa. Here's another mistake. Salazar able to offload it, not being able to control it, still in harm's way. Salazar still on the ground. Again, the ball somehow miraculously again, another break. Bossetti. Amazing the opportunity that was just missed there. As right there, the opportunity. Salazar again on the ground. It's been like, what, 5 or 6 times now?
5, 4.
Oh, you were the one keeping score.
He's having a tough evening, you know.
Oh, but it's all well worth it. He scored. So,
He's had the important moment so far in this game, and you know, a fantastic finish, composure. We got the opportunity to see that goal again. He's done what's right at the right moment when his team needed him.
Yeah, and Echeverri just absolutely livid right now. We'll see right here. And it's Salazar keeping that ball alive. Ooh, man.
Yeah, you see his ankle maybe just gets stuck underneath the defender there.
Yeah, but that's with both feet too.
Strong tackle.
That's, man, that is like borderline orange going on red. As it looks right now like it's going to be Mikel Williams. Of course, he's stating his case. Yeah, I mean, it was a brutal foul, but looks like the referee, what he did, at least looking at it from initially, Atiba Harris actually getting the yellow card. Atiba Harris with the first booking of the match, and that'll be at 57.
And I think after getting his first goal, this is the last thing Salazar wants to do now, is come off with an injury. You know, he'll be full of confidence. He'll be trying to go on to score more. It'll be interesting to see whether he's able to continue in the game.
And
there
you see
his
right
goal
here,
again. Opens up his hips beautifully and just bends that one past Lorendi into the bottom corner. Nothing Cody could do about that.
No, yeah, and of course, when you're in a position like Lorendi, it's pretty much your defensive pretty much hung you out to dry on that particular one.
Yeah, I think the coach will be absolutely furious with how they've given away possession of that ball for that goal scoring opportunity, especially how they've given up 3 goals in the last game. To give up a goal like that in this game, you know, the coach will be livid.
So right there, the trainer, Randy Lininger, coming off, and she did some great work in there. Almost there, a bit of a mistake by Junkwa. Trying to play it out as Bozetti. He's like, why didn't you touch him? Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world since 1947. Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
And the pressure in this game is now very much on Energy FC. You know, we've spoken about the squad that they possess, you know, the expectancies of the organization. Going into their 3rd, 4th match now without a win, the pressure is very much on them to get themselves back into this game.
And Malik Foster giving chase as the Energy bench already in full movement. Even the goalkeeper, Brian Byers. Of course, 5 players on that bench for Energy today, available for action. Even Brian Byers getting ready to warm up, or actually is warming up right now. Copete winning the ball, but not being able to recover it. But Salazar back into it. He starts to get some mention for man of the match for obvious reasons. As you see right there. Everyone available for Energy right now as we get into the 60th minute of play.
And you may see a player like Marcos Bustos maybe come into this game. You know, he's a player who has that capability of unlocking defenses, very neat and tidy on the ball, you know, very good going forward, good quality on the ball. Another player who's represented their national team in Canada. You know, maybe he's the one who can come on and influence this game positively for Energy FC going into the last half an hour.
Now, your Energy FC, what do you start doing? Okay, you're a goal down, and the second half hasn't been as effective. And maybe the only times you've been effective have been when you've had your set pieces, and that really hasn't happened either.
Well, they're still being very patient in their build-up. You know, they're possessing the ball around the back. Even despite being a goal down, they're being patient in how they build their attacks. You know, they've not yet gone to being direct, but they definitely need to get the game with the tempo of the game high. You know, just start to put Rio Grande Valley under pressure.
Bit of miscommunication, but Adams being able to recover. Energy now pressing down the wings, but it's Adams again at the controls. Malik Foster going down the right. Cabrera, also Salazar making a run, looking to go inside the area, but not much going on as it gets steered aside. It's been, as far as Energy's concerned, we've talked about them and their transitions being dangerous. Copete, Salazar unbelievably takes his eye off the ball and had 2-0 right in his sights, right on his foot. Yeah, but somehow he just missed it. I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen the good and bad of Salazar. That when it comes into him there, he just needs to take a touch and finish. Good work from Foster here, getting down the line, driving the ball into that danger area. Salazar was just a second late getting it. He could have directed it on goal. That could have been his 2nd of the night.
And another chance that goes astray here for RGV as they start gaining confidence moment after moment, attack after attack, wave after wave. As we head into the 62nd minute of play. Fans, please follow RGV and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, to MLS, the UFC, and more. Join over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. I know Chris Nurse has it. I know Mike Watts has it. I know many of our friends have them. So make sure you also join in to the craze that is ESPN Plus. Once again, the opportunity right there, number 17. He has another chance. Steers it wide.
Again, Salazar had Lorendi scrambling there.
Garcia.
Had some nice shots in this game. Salazar, he's got himself on the score sheet, but here's Cato bursting into the box.
Another chance to try and equalize and not being able to get that final pass through. Salazar comes back and recovers. Salazar, I should just leave it on record as Salazar continues to attack. Salazar tries to keep it inbound and Salazar couldn't do it, so it ends up going back to Energy FC.
Cato had far more time on that opportunity than he didn't need to play that ball across so early. He's beat the defender. He could just continue driving. He could even come across him here so he could be more accurate with that pass. But Rio Grande Valley do well at snuffing out that attack. Samuel able to get back and clear it away.
Very intelligent by Samuels as he was looking back, seeing where the run was being made by Owen Gordon to really block off that angle.
Yeah, but that's a warning sign for Rio Grande Valley. That even though they're in the lead, Energy FC still possess very dangerous weapons going forward, and they need to make sure they keep their eye on them.
Gordon moving more towards the middle, trying to join up with Bozetti. As Energy, of course, trying to push the ball up the pitch. Bozetti making himself available, but instead skipping over him, looking for Owen Gordon, and of course that battle's easily won as Connor Donovan being able to steer that ball wide. What's changed so far? What are you seeing now different? Because now you see Energy with a bit more impetus going forward. RGV at times might have a little bit of suspect type of play defensively where they're being exploited in some occasions. What's going on? How have you seen that change a little bit?
I mean, I think, as I said, the pressure's on Energy FC. They know that this isn't good enough, and you know, the players and experience they have on the field, it's not even close to good enough. Whereas Rio Grande Valley, on the other hand, you know, they're executing the one part that they've been missing so far in the game and being able to score goals and put the ball into the back of the net. And that's given them confidence as a team, as individuals. You know, you can see them now playing with a little bit more pep in their step because they know now they're capable of scoring goals. So they have that extra belief in themselves, whereas Energy FC, on the other hand, you know, they're susceptible to conceding another because they could be 2-0 down right now. The only real threat we've seen from Energy FC has been from set pieces. In terms of open play, they haven't really created that many chances.
Mikael Williams, Samuels, Cato to Rafa Garcia. Twirls around, finds Cato, and the defense just watches. Cato with the cross to no one.
That's the second occasion there where Cato's had the ball in dangerous positions and he's unable to provide any real quality with that final ball. Garcia doing a fantastic job of finding him, but Cato not quite able to provide that killer pass as yet.
RGV right now defensively look like a step behind. Cato gonna let that ball roll out of bounds. Maybe a throw-in, or what's it gonna be? Yeah. Arturo Ibarra saying it's a throw-in.
Yeah, it seems strange because that ball was going out slow enough. It looked like Cato could almost have got to that ball. It seems to be some confusion in what the referees decided here.
Yeah, everybody says, what's that? Foster. Cabrera. Salazar, back to Cabrera as they triangulate their way out of that mess. Deep into space, here's a good opportunity with Enriquez down the left-hand side. Foster slowly getting into the area. Enriquez again looking to create that space. The shot that just sails wide again.
Just needed to drive that low and hard into the opposite corner and make Lorendi work. Instead, he tried to chip it up and it's gone way over the crossbar.
He's just getting under it every single time. He's trying to get that. He's trying to get that upper 90 as possible.
He needs to get his head over the ball and just drive. If Lorendi gets down and makes a save, the chances are he parries it for one of his teammates to tap in.
And Copete is down. So we'll see if he continues. He's the training staff.
There we see those infamous metal studs that we were discussing earlier in the game.
Ooh, that's not good body language as Copete
seems to be in some level of discomfort.
He knows that he might not be able to continue. I hope he's able to. Again, he's been one of those solid performers in the middle of the pitch for RGV. And the face says a lot. Of course, the substitution coming up here. First of the match. So Copete comes off. Romilio Hernandez comes on for, and right now, of course, he's going to go straight into the dressing room to get checked. So Romilio Hernandez comes on for Rio Grande Valley, the native of Lanham, Maryland. Playing his craft as a defender, but can also play, or has played more as a holding midfielder, so plays a little bit more of a defensive position. That ball will be given back. And Energy will commence another attack. Garcia, who's dropped back more, and when the fullbacks go on the attack, he becomes that pseudo third central defender, if you will, allowing them to go wide. Another cross. Big mistake here. Oh, that's a penalty. Stone cold, big mistake. What a gaffe by Nico Corti.
They've handed that to Energy FC on a plate. Terrible defending. Big mistake from the goalkeeper.
Unbelievable. And again, that's the unexpected twists and turns that football does create.
The delivery into the box isn't even that threatening. It looks like the goalkeeper's collecting it easily. I think the little dummy there from Adams throws him off and he lets go of it. Bossetti does a good job. Just clever there, chipping it over, because I don't think he's going to get on the end of it, even if the goalkeeper doesn't bring him down. But experienced, clever play there.
It wasn't even close, and it'll be the former French Youth International World Cup winner at the under-20. He gets hit by the post, and being able to bail out, celebrating still, is Connor Donovan. Bailed out big time by the goalkeeper's best friend, the right post. We're still 1-0, looking to start a break. Foster couldn't get there, and play will be stopped.
And you just wonder whether the stars are aligned in favor of Rio Grande Valley tonight. That kind of coincides with the night that Bossetti's been having. You know, he hasn't had the most active night. He's been fairly quiet and so close. Just comes back off the inside of the post, across goal.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times that ball bounces in. And Connor Donovan was so emphatic. Come on, guys, let's go.
Corti will be so happy to not see that ball hit the back of his net from the penalty spot there. It's a big let-off for Rio Grande Valley.
Huge,
big let-off.
Huge, huge. Malik Foster. Andrew Samuels as we get into the 71st minute of play. Adams. Junkwa. Getting a little bit of a reprieve there. Back to Junkwa as the attack starting to build up even more. Junkwa with a shot, and great defense there. Trying to set it up, and it was Atiba Harris saving the day there for Energy FC.
Fantastic block there from Harris, but you know, you wonder, moments like that can really change a season. You know, the finish from Salazar, the PK miss, you know, you wonder if this could be the changing point for Rio Grande Valley's season so far.
Interesting with Bossetti, there was an interview. I'll mention it after this play. Samuels. Getting his first touch was the recently entered Hernandez. Donovan. Samuels, as everyone getting a touch. Junkwa, as he joined the attack a bit more. Garcia, Salazar. Getting that ball misdirected there ever so slightly. Is it going to be a corner kick? Yes, it is. So another chance for RGV. Yep. A couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, Alexis Bossetti gave an interview to Nice Matin, which is the big newspaper in Nice. And he said one of the big things that he really was impressed upon coming into the United States, he said the players like machines as far as their fitness was concerned. They run and they run. And you say, that's been the biggest adjustment that I've had to have in terms of being able to play here in USL, has been that, just the fitness and the amount of running that the players have been able to do throughout his time here.
Yeah, and it's not just the running. You know, we're now approaching summer. And it doesn't get any easier, you know, as the heat heats up, the humidity heats up, the level of intensity and work rate from the players, it doesn't really drop.
It doesn't drop.
So it becomes a compound effect of being able to deal with the natural elements as well as the physical intensity of the game.
Yeah, he got here when it was cold.
Yeah.
Trying to roll it and continue play. Donovan. Martinez.
You're now seeing Energy you know, display a willingness to work hard and close down that they've not shown so far in the first 60 minutes of this game. And now, with 20 minutes to go, it's almost like they're trying to wake up, but it may be a case of too little too late, because so far I believe Rio Grande Valley deserve to be in the lead in this game and could see themselves go further.
No, get up, says Arturo Ibarra. Last time Ibarra refereed a match here, it was a 1-0 victory against Colorado Springs. It was a goal by Pablo Aguilar. He's been very familiar with the action here at HEB. He's been a second assistant on 2 occasions already. First assistant last year. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Rio Grande Valley and then click follow to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on RGV's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. That's a little bit, it's just a little bit too much.
I think Harris just lands on his ankle there when he falls to the floor, but hopefully he's able to shake it off. Salazar just putting the ball out of play there, so his teammate could get some treatment.
And we'll do it all over again. So the difference so far in this match, a goal in the 54th minute. It was Michael Salazar being able to get a goal for his team. Salazar, at least if you start asking me, candidate for man of the match. Of course, there's still lots of time to be played. Scoring his first goal of the season, the 54th minute. Back pass, an errant back pass by Alvin Jones. Right to Salazar. He just is able to curl that ball past Cody Lorendi. That's the difference so far in this encounter. Juan Arango alongside Chris Nurse.
Yeah, most certainly Salazar is a candidate for man of the match so far in this game, but there's still 15 minutes to go.
Totally. Energy looking for spaces and Garcia. Lorendi back to the metronome of the middle of the pitch. Good job there by Junco as he wins that ball. Enriquez, who's been a menace down that left side. Continuing to play with Cabrera.
We've spoken about when he picks up the ball and starts dribbling. He's a big threat.
Here's Enriquez off the post. Oh, unfortunate there for Enriquez. The hard work that he was able to do. But yet again, coming through here, Salazar just mishit it ever so slightly.
And for the goal that Salazar scored, he's had 3 opportunities in this game, just like that, where all he needs is a clean connection on the ball and make Lorendi work, and he could have had a hat-trick. He could have had a hat-trick in this game. But fantastic work from Enriquez. We've spoken about what a threat he's been in this game, and that would have been his just rewards had he found the back of the net with that opportunity there. Just picks up the ball and just glides past defenders, and they can't do nothing apart from back off him and give him space. And you know, if he's not able,
watch out with.
That looked like there could have almost been a penalty opportunity there.
Yeah, there was an exchange there, and again the hard work that he put in.
There you see him. He goes past 1, 2, keeps gliding with it. 3, space opens up.
Now this has been an issue with energy. We saw it in the match against Portland last week. There was 6 players, and you've seen opportunity. Of course, right there, the deflection. That's the reason why. As Nicolo Lemoyne coming on, and he will replace Andres Cabrera.
Yeah, Cabrera had a decent game, but he's kind of faded towards the latter stages of the game, you know. I think the coach has done right. They're bringing on some fresh legs just to give the center of the park a little bit more energy going into the final 12, 13 minutes of this game.
Good shift by the youngster. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure you tune in on Wednesday, April 17th for the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week on ESPN3, featuring new expansion side Austin Bold, hosting last year's Cup runner-up, Phoenix Rising. It's the week's best match on the Game of the Week. Next Wednesday, on ESPN3. Check your local listings. Here's Enriquez trying to cut inside but wasn't allowed to by Garcia. Lemoyne dropping the ball back, continuing to move around as it was, of course, Hernandez who's controlling the middle of the pitch, and he's also joined the attack.
Good 1v1 defending there from Jones, able to snuff out that attack. Very patient, good footwork, just able to get his body across the attacker and see that ball out.
As you mentioned, Chris, we're waiting for Bustos to come on, and he will, as he replaces Alexis Bossetti.
Yeah, and we know Bossetti is a very talented player, but
it's Bustos that
been
comes
able
on Brian
to
Byers.
quite have that impact on the game that he would have liked tonight, and now Bustos has got 12 minutes to try and make something happen in this game.
It's one of these types of matches that if you just look at the score line alone, you're okay, 1-0, 1-0, close. But it's the type of close that you could see one team just absolutely overtaking the other.
Yeah.
But at the same time, about to tiptoe their way into the abyss.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that one or the other. So it's a case of extreme so far. Salazar to Samuels. Good anticipation there by Mikel Williams as he starts charging forward. 79-10 and counting. Rafa Garcia has to unload that ball. Gets past one, couldn't get past the second, Cordell Cato. Kyle Adams, Junqua. He's converged upon, splits the defense, and now you start to see Energy finding some holes that are being exploited defensively on their end. Jones.
Good play from Rio Grande Valley here, just keeping possession of the ball and switching play, making Energy FC work hard from side to side.
Martinez, who's taken more of a wide role on the right, especially when Samuels goes on the attack, he covers that space. Lorendi.
Just 10 minutes to go now in this game. You can see the urgency a little bit from the Energy players. Now they want to get the ball off their feet and move it forward a little bit quicker, but they should have. This is what they should have been trying to do earlier in this game.
Still lots of time to go to get that equalizer.
Now they're actually trying to play at the tempo that they can, but you know, you wonder why didn't they approach the game this way from the beginning?
Bustos. Oh, Wayne Gordon couldn't get there.
Yeah, that's a good look from Bustos, just a slightly overhit. But you know, that's what he comes onto the pitch and offers his team. He'll find those players making runs behind.
See the complaint there, of course. Good reflexes by the lady back there.
Yeah, I think the players just saying a little bit of petulance from Gordon. There was no need for him to tote back that ball into the fans, considering it was already out of play. Donovan probably asking the referee here to...
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're not being smart, man.
Yeah.
He almost hit a fan. He's like... And, of course, Isley's like, oh, okay, well, what? He's like, man, you're not... Anyway.
Rio Grande Valley will here just be able to kill the extra seconds. You know, the defender Donovan's sending the right thing there. You know, be smart. You're chasing the game. The last thing you want to do is kill extra seconds by time wasting.
Last win at home for Rio Grande Valley was back on September 29th. It was a 2-1 victory against Fresno, and Salazar again.
Yeah, September the 20th. That's a long time without that home win. You know, this will do
win.
wonders for the whole momentum and the positiveness inside of the whole organization. They'll come into training Monday. You know, everybody would be buzzing with a new energy because they've won. You know, winning brings that to teams and to squads. And
of course.
Now it'd be interesting to see if they're able to see out this game and then continue that momentum.
Goals by Enriquez and Carlos Small on that day. It's interesting that you're seeing this because last year, Rio Grande Valley's production up top was one of their keys. Out of the 36 goals that they scored, 17 of them were from their forwards. So That's why there's such a dependency. And of course, today, that was quite in evidence, especially with Salazar scoring the only goal of the match up to now.
Yeah, there again, we're seeing Gordon struggling to lose that to win that 1v1 battle.
Adams, good job there as it goes right to Isidro Martinez. Running through is Malik Foster, dashing through into space. Nobody converging. He's looking, he's surveying, trying to put that ball through, but good job by Mike Defont to be able to recover. Wants to curl back in. Over to Enriquez, looking for his prize, but got under it again and just gives a little bit of playing time for the kids back there to knock the ball at least around.
The one time Enriquez got his head over the ball and drove the ball along the floor, he hit the target inside of the post. The other three opportunities when he's leant back, every one of them has gone over the crossbar or wide.
It's physics. I mean, if the way you position your body in those situations ends up happening now.
The time he's got his head over the ball, he's almost scored.
That ball went out of bounds, according to first assistant Diego Blas. Of course, all of these referees, part of the South Texas Soccer Referees Association. Third and final substitution coming on, Roberto Castellanos getting some opportunity, and it'll be Salazar finally coming off. So now you start to see Gerson Echeverri beginning to close out the match, taking out a forward, bringing in a defender. Robert Castellanos is getting some playing time as of right now.
Yeah, they're trying to defend this lead and make sure they leave with the 3 points in just under 10 minutes time.
Corti right there holding on with like the clutches, the jaws of life, making sure he doesn't allow another rebound.
And this is where they need a little bit of experience. When Corti catches that ball there, he's keep it in his hands, go down, try to get every second that you can going into latter stages of this game, because the last thing you want to do is concede possession to Energy FC and allow them to start attacking you.
Garcia, 84-51. Mikel Williams just barrels through, looking to cross it into the area. Not the best cross, but it does cause some complications. Enriquez, all the way, haven't seen him on this side of the pitch, but dropping back so much, it'll be a goal kick coming up for RGV. And he thought about it twice, at least that time.
Yeah, I think he tried to fake the crowd that time.
As I mentioned, these referees, all part of the South Texas Soccer Referees. Of course, one of them, Ismael El-Fat, will be representing the United States later on this year in the Under-20 World Cup, which will take place in Poland. Four minutes plus stoppage time, maybe about 2-3 minutes that will be added.
I'm going to say 2.
Hernandez.
Actually, I'll go 3. Salazar.
You go 3? Oh, that's easy now, because of course with all the subs.
No, I was just thinking subs. Salazar's been down a couple times in half. Maybe the referee gives 4.
Oh well, in that case, he can also get fined. I mean, let's just keep going. Hernandez. Good job for Malik Foster as he comes through. Cherry picking. Can he get through? Here's the opportunity. What a golazo! 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 What a golazo by Jesus Enriquez! What a thing of beauty! Thank you so much for that treat. What a way to finish it off. Kiss right back at you. 2-0 RGV.
And I thought Rio Grande Valley were almost in danger of overplaying in that situation. 2 or 3 times the opportunity was there to take the shot, but Enriquez has done fantastically well, and he deserves that goal tonight. He absolutely deserves that goal. Fantastically taken.
And the most difficult of all the challenges was made right there.
You see 1-2s, you see players making runs into the box.
Right there,
beats the defender, beats another defender, and then dinks it over Lorendi with his left foot. Fantastic goal for Enriquez. He deserves that tonight for his performance.
Excuse me, Mr. Producer, Mr. Director, can you please clip this off? This is, forget everywhere else. This is the goal of the week. Please Stop.
I think we're looking at goal
Stop.
of the week.
Goal of the week. Goal of the week.
Looking at
Just
goal of the week.
tell everybody else to not play. It's over. Game of the week. 2-0.
And it's
Yellow
even
card.
more fitting. The first win, he scores tonight, and he was already ready to dedicate the goal to his mum.
Well, he better dedicate it to his mom. Who else would he be dedicating it to? 87th minute. Enriquez
He also
on
got
top
a
of the
red
yellow
card
on top of the yellow card.
for his dedication.
Here's a good job by Owen Gordon, but too many orange jerseys going around. Second goal of the season for Jesus Enriquez. Last year, he was the leading goal scorer for Rio Grande Valley with 6 goals. And again, we talked about the importance of the forwards in their production. Today, they proved it.
Yep, and I think that's the coach has achieved his objective. You know, he spoke about them needing to score goals. We spoke about what he may potentially tinker with at half-time after they'd been in the final third, but not necessarily scored any goals or tested Llorente as much as they should have with their 10 chances. And right now, they're on the brink of keeping a clean sheet and getting a 2-0 victory. You know, that's massive for them as a team. Energy, on the other hand, not good enough. Far from good enough with the expectancies, the squad that they have. You know, there's a lot of work to be done there. This is going to be their 4th game without a win. And the coach will have to do some reflection after this game and see where he needs to make changes in order to get this team back on track.
Second, well, there's still less than a minute plus stoppage time. RGV on the verge of getting that clean sheet that you just mentioned, Chris Nurse.
Clean sheets are massive, you know. Not only is the attackers going to have confidence because they've scored goals in this game. Look how they're playing.
Foster, the
1 and
confidence.
2 touch football, back heels, you know. They're playing with so much confidence and flair right now.
And a player that really turned it on in the second half is Malik Foster.
Yeah, Malik Foster came alive in the second half. But
yes, he did.
If you're an energy FC player right now, you're really wondering what's going on.
Energy just trying to see how they can really get back into this game. The cross. Cato gets shouldered off the ball, looking for a penalty, not going to get it.
Again, that's another one that we see. Oh, there we go, 5 minutes. That's another one that we've seen the referees give.
So wait. You said first you said 2, then you said 3, then you said 4, then you said 5. So you technically are right after 4 different tries. So I don't know. I'll give you credit for it. Okay, no problem. Next time I might not. But I'll be generous with you. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Well, find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Ranking, only on USLChampionship.com. And one thing for sure is that RGV will be going up in those power rankings.
Opportunity here to get themselves on the score sheet. Dangerous area to concede a free kick on the edge of the box. You know, Bassetti's normally the set-piece taker. It'll be interesting to see who steps up in his absence to...
Will it be Bustos, you think?
See if they can put this one past Llorente.
Or no, probably be Rafa Garcia. He's the one that just set it up. It's always the last one, so we'll see.
Gordon seems confident. He's grabbing the ball, so...
Wayne Gordon looking to make it 2-1 and make it a very dramatic finish here at HEB Park.
Really maybe fancy a left footer from this situation. Just see where Gordon goes with this set piece.
Here comes Gordon off the wall. Rafa Garcia. And right there, things get very complicated for Rio Grande Valley.
And there goes that clean sheet. There goes that clean sheet.
It's Atiba Harris scoring at 90+2.
But that's just switching off there from Rio Grande Valley. If you really look, it could have been a number of 3 players who are at the far post there, unmarked. You know, they just switched off on that set piece, maybe celebrating before the game was actually finished, but see the replay here.
And not only that, you had
poor free kick from Gordon.
you had 3 players on the far post all by themselves.
Bustos with the assist, just hangs it up. 1, 2, 3 players, they're all on their own. Any one of them could have put the ball into the back of the net.
So all of a sudden, when it seems so comfortable, that's why they always say that 2-0 scoreline ends up being very tricky. Just one goal can turn it around, but again, it's been quite the uphill climb for Energy to be able to create offensive opportunities. Now they're looking for more. Offside there by Malik Foster. Took off way too early.
And what? He's going to get a booking here for his troubles.
Of course. And that's at 90+3. So let's check out the goal one more time, Chris. And what you were mentioning about the, how many players was it?
Just hangs it up to the back post. That you can see 3 unmarked players in the box. You know, it's inevitable. If you don't mark players from set pieces, it's the first phase. You know, they do well. Poor free kick from Gordon, but the second phase of play where the ball comes back in from the cross from Bustos, they weren't concentrating on picking players up there.
90 seconds left in stoppage time.
But it's interesting, Bustos was able to come in and have that impact of getting the assist in such a short period of time.
Wayne Gordon pushing forward our Energy FC, looking for that one last opportunity to be able to at least take a point back to Oklahoma City. They have a very difficult stretch coming up in the next few matches. Rafa Garcia not going to wait, launching it into the area.
Good ball from Garcia there.
One of the definite stars of the match for Energy. Man of the match, or still too soon?
I think we had to go with Salazar.
Wayne Gordon. Time running out. Energy not being able to put shots on target. The most important part, Adams just watches that ball roll out of bounds, and Energy will take a little bit of desperate measures there, setting the ball up, and
that'll be very frustrating there.
Yeah, they'll say, you know what?
Very frustrating to slip and concede possession of the ball in the final third at such a crucial point in the game. Almost the last attack, and it's defined by a slip.
Nico Cordy, and how crazy things went in this match. A penalty because of the goalkeeper, and of course he gets bailed out by the post.
And I think had the penalty gone in, the game could have been quite different. You know, at that stage it would have been 1-1.
Looks like there'll be one more minute. Of course, the goal took some time, so we'll go into a 6 minute of stoppage time. Deep ball. RGV looking focused after that little mental lapse that they had during that free kick that ended up in the 2-1. Wayne Gordon dashing through. The cross into the area, again cleared away. Hustling through, the foul's called, and that should be almost it.
Yeah, for Rio Grande Valley, a smart hair. They completely killed the time. We're now into the 96th minute, which means the referee must imminently be blowing his whistle, and I think they leave tonight with the 3 points.
They leave tonight, and Nico Lemoyne came in late in the second half. I think there'll be another minute added, or at least it seems like it. See what the referee does. Only 3 yellow cards, so not much that really to be said. Your thoughts, Chris?
He'll be pumping this ball as far as they can. I think Rio Grande Valley deserve the win tonight. I think Energy FC need to go away and do some self-reflection. Based upon the team that they have, the experience that they have in that team, that's not good enough from them, but fantastic performance from Rio Grande Valley, and hopefully they can build on this and kickstart their season from here.
A lot of highs for RGV. One bit of a lapse that put them nervous, but in the end, it was the boys from Rio Grande Valley getting the victory 2-1 over OKC Energy. Michael Salazar made it 1-0, 2-0 in the 87th minute. Another key performer today in Jesus Enriquez. Major protagonist.
Major candidate for goal of the week.
Major candidate for goal of the week right there. Got a yellow card in the process, but give him credit, he was thanking his mom. Of course, Energy didn't give up, despite maybe not the best performance. Atiba Harris making things interesting in stoppage time as he made it 2-1, but It was the men in orange tonight, that got the victory.
And we saw glimpses of what Energy FC were capable of in the last 6 or 7 minutes of the game, but you wonder why they didn't play with that intensity and tempo earlier in the game. You know, why start slow? Why play in that very lethargic way that they start the game? Why not start the game with that same intensity that they were able to dominate the last 7 minutes of the game? You know, had they done that, different story. But unfortunately, they left it too late to get themselves back into the game, and Rio Grande Valley victor tonight.
So we'll check out exactly what occurred. We'll tell the story yet again of how RGV end up winning for the first time since September 29th in their own home ground. Again, this was in the second half, 54th minute. It's a strike there by Michael Salar, but
terrible back pass there from Jones. Salar does as well to control it, opens up his hips and bends that into the far corner past Lorendi. No chance of saving it. Great finish from Salazar.
But it's that goal scorer's instinct, being able to take that half breath and say, okay, fine, collect myself and take the best shot possible.
Yeah, and he had a number of opportunities before that, so, you know, he would have been relieved to put that one away also.
You see the penalty right there, what we were talking about right before the end of the match.
Yeah,
great cross into the area. Adams and Cordy end up not communicating, but that leg that Cordy sticks out, just stone cold giveaway. And Bozetti capitalized what was very underperforming night for the former under-20 World Cup winner.
See how excited Corty is to see that not going to the back of his net after making a mistake, but this was fantastic soccer all around from Rio Grande Valley here, and this man deserved this goal.
And it was just everything about it that was just beautiful. As Jesus Enriquez scores his second goal of the season, pretty much ends up being the game winner. But it was just everything that occurred, from the through ball to the collection by Malik Foster to Samuels being able to play it back, and everything that occurred afterwards, getting around two defenders. And also give credit to RGV, but again, defensive lapses, very preoccupying for Energy FC in this match. And now, of course, things got interesting in stoppage time.
Yeah, Jose Bustos, lovely delivery to the back post. 3 players unmarked in the box, back of the net, and it made for a very, very touchy last 5 minutes for Rio Grande Valley to hold on to that 1-goal lead.
So it was Atiba Harris being able to score his first goal of the season, but too little too late, as you mentioned, Chris, as far as what occurred. 21 total shots, 8 shots on target. I think that the latter statistic tells you a lot more. But again, you see that statistic, 47% possession, which has been the norm for RGV throughout the season.
And with 21 shots, you know, if they're able to become more clinical in the final third, this is a team that could really do something when they're creating that level of goal-scoring opportunities.
Exactly, and we'll see how this could be the building block. This could be the match that later on in the season, you're going to say, that was the turnaround.
And the woes continue for NGFC right now.
And that's going to be another thing to be looking at, is they have a very tough stretch ahead. So, Chris, it's been a pleasure. For RGV fans, they have to be pleased as well. Again, the final score, RGV 2, OKC Energy 1. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.